Hi guys! How are you guys today? That's good. So I'm Layla. I'm with the John Oak Franklin Young Scholars Program from Duke, and this is a history program. And every year we focus on a certain history topic, and this year we're doing history of medicine. So I'm here to talk to you guys about yellow fever.
Put your first slide up.
Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty nasty picture. So I want everyone to look to your right and look to your left. If you lived in Philadelphia in 1793, one of the three of you would be dead within 2 weeks.
Next slide.
So imagine how scary it would be to watch 1/3 of your friends and family wiped out by a disease no one understood, didn't know how to stop from spreading, and didn't know how to cure. Oops. People didn't just die peacefully. It was a gruesome, gruesome death.
All right.
So that's not very fun. It was really long, painful. Have any of you guys had the flu before? Oops. It was something like this.
Hi, my name is Raleigh, and this is my partner, Chris.
Hi.
Hey, did you know that my little brother and sister go to George Watts? Well, anyway.
Oh, Braulio, I'm tired. I don't feel good. Wow.
So yellow fever is a very dangerous and deadly disease. Now here he is. Now, this is a healthy person, you know, just a little bit fatigued and stuff. And so, next phase is where he's a little bit red and a little bit tired, coughing a lot, you know, part of the great symptoms. And then now he's very yellow, and he has a nosebleed. He's bleeding. He's going to start to bleed from all sorts of places now. Now he's basically dying in this photo. He's basically dying. You see how it's this can be a very dangerous disease. Oh, jeez. Oh, are you okay? We need to get you to the hospital. Let's go.
So have any of you guys had the flu? So does one of you guys want to tell me how you felt during the flu? In the blue Snoopy shirt.
I felt really sick and just lying down, not waking up.
Yeah, that's how.
It was just like really.
The flu is a lot like yellow fever, except yellow fever is just a little bit worse. So it wasn't just the people in Philadelphia who suffered. Places like Wilmington, North Carolina, and Charleston, South Carolina, lost lots and lots of people to yellow fever. And the treatment by American doctors wasn't very great. So this was Benjamin Rush. He was a Philadelphian physician, and he also signed the Declaration of Independence. He was considered one of the best physicians of his time, and he was highly regarded for his work during the 1793 yellow fever epidemic. So Benjamin Rush, he had this method that he did, and with his patients who had yellow fever, he would bleed them, and that means he would cut them, and he'd let the blood run out of them, and he'd collect the blood, because he thought maybe the disease was in their blood, and if he bled them, the disease would come out. He also gave his patients a lot of mercury, and mercury is a disease. Mercury is a poison now. We know that. So mercury is something you don't want to have in your system. These therapeutics became known as heroic medicine. So there were a lot of different ways to combat yellow fever, or what they thought would combat yellow fever. This is one of my personal favorite ways. Yes, people thought that exploring guns and cannons to stun whatever bad things were in the air would cure yellow fever. So, yellow fever changed history. After a slave revolt in Hispaniola, the island that's shared by Haiti and the Dominican Republic, Napoleon sent his army to seize control and maintain the lucrative sugar trade down there. However, yellow fever killed 35 to 45,000 of his soldiers during the war, and Napoleon gave up the island. In 1804, Haiti proclaimed its independence following the steps of the young American Republic. So, it's your turn to figure out how to avoid yellow fever. So do you guys have groups?
Next slide.
How many groups do you need?
Maybe like groups of 5.
Okay.
Well, actually, can we have 7 groups?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What is mixed up in a group is we have the 8, going group 1, group 9, group 4, and group 7, group 6. If you have 8, your chance from the partner from those 8 is going group 1. Group 1. So 8 members together, 9 and 2 is together, and 10 and 3. You ready? We have 10 groups. 10 of you groups. Okay, now we're gonna. I think we're ready.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a suggestion from the August 14th, 1888 issue of the Florida Times Union of how to avoid getting yellow fever. So can one group stand up? Perfect. Okay, so your suggestion will be to avoid exposure to the sun to avoid getting yellow fever. You guys can sit down. Can the next group stand up? Your suggestion would be to eat no meat to avoid getting yellow fever. Next group. Your suggestion would be to eat no cabbage to avoid getting yellow fever. Next group. Your suggestion would be to eat before leaving your house to avoid getting yellow fever. And the next group. Your suggestion would be to keep indoors from an hour or more before sunset till an hour at least after sunrise. And next group. Your suggestion would be to avoid the night air. And do we have any more groups? We've gotten all the groups? Your suggestion would be to avoid nervousness, to avoid getting yellow fever. And any more groups? So, in your group, you're going to discuss why this suggestion might be right or wrong. And you maybe I think eating no meat would help me not get yellow fever because meat might have yellow fever in it. So, does that make any sense? Can I have a thumbs up from the people who think they're done? A thumbs up from the people who think they're done? Not yet? Okay. So, I think it's time to wrap up this activity. Does anyone want to share why they think their avoidance was right? Does any group want to share? You can go ahead.
Oh, okay. You should avoid abuse because it could attract mosquitoes.
That's a really good idea. Does anyone else want to share?
So, mosquitoes come out during the day because the sun is radiating heat and mosquitoes are attracted to the heat. So we shouldn't go out the sun.
That's really, really good. That's exactly why. That's actually the right answer. Is there a PowerPoint?
You want to slide up?
Yeah. So you should avoid going out. Oh, you can go ahead and share. Oh. Okay.
Okay. Avoiding the night air is nice and bright because mosquitoes are attracted to light, and if you know light is nice, then some mosquitoes will bite you.
That's a good idea. So one of these avoidance was right, and it was to keep indoors from an hour or more before sunset to at least an hour after sunrise. And this is because mosquitoes are likely to come out at these times, and mosquitoes carry yellow fever, which is why you should avoid getting bit by them. So it wasn't until yellow fever caused serious problems for the U.S. government that America got serious about solving the yellow fever mystery. First, we lost many soldiers to yellow fever in the Spanish-American War. Then we tried constructing the Panama Canal after the French failed because they lost so many workers due to yellow fever and malaria. We faced the same problems the French had faced. The U.S. sent Walter Reed down to Panama to study the situation, and he proved a Cuban doctor's hypothesis that yellow fever was spread by mosquitoes when he isolated the virus in 1927. Okay, so this is a really big deal because this is the first time a human virus had been isolated, and it paved the way for the creation of an effective vaccine for yellow fever. And actually, most of you guys have gotten this vaccine before. Maybe as children, so a lot of you guys will not get yellow fever. There's very low chance of you guys getting yellow fever. But yellow fever causes 200,000 infections and 30,000 deaths every year, with nearly 90% of these occurring in Africa. And this is because people don't have proper access to these vaccines, and the mosquitoes there carry yellow fever, and they get infected with it, which is not really a problem for you guys, but it's still a really big problem now. And since the 1980s, the number of cases of yellow fever each year have increased. So we're going to take you to a doctor's office to show you why this is still a big problem.
Hi, Braulio. I'm Dr. Feelgood. How are you feeling today?
Oh, hey, Doc. You know, I've been feeling a little bit under the weather lately.
Okay.
I've been having this really bad headache and all these muscle aches. There's also these huge and horrible hives on my arms. What do you think I have, Doc?
Well, Braulio, we could be looking at many different diseases. My main concern being yellow fever.
What? I have yellow fever?
But we shouldn't just assume that right away. See, many different diseases share similar symptoms. Yellow fever is commonly mistaken for hepatitis, or malaria, or even typhoid fever. So if you're feeling better tomorrow, just come back to me.
Well, if I'm feeling better, then why would I do that?
Well, that could be the problem. That's the second stage of yellow fever, and that's when I need to see you the most.
Well, how many stages are there?
I think like 5, maybe 4. I'll check. There are 3.
Wow, what a great doctor. So, how do you think I got infected?
Well, I'm not sure about that either.
Well, Mr. Reed, I believe you are terribly mistaken on how you think yellow fever is transmitted by some ridiculous mosquitoes. As we all know, I am the most experienced Confederate doctor in yellow fever. I don't see any of your articles published in the New York Journal of Medicine.
Listen here, you idiot, Dr. Rag or whatever they call you. My theory is a lot more logical than your theory about how a disease could just spring up from noxious gases.
I will have you know that I'm not an idiot. How could you be so certain that mosquitoes are carrying this disease? Never has a mosquito been proven to carry a disease.
Well, actually, I'm still not certain yet because I haven't tested the theory, but very soon I will set up many experiments to prove that I have the best theory out there.
Well, I think it's stupid.
Well, if you think my theories are stupid, did you hear of how this one guy thought it was caused by the planets aligning? Jesus, what an imbecile.
According to what I just read, in 1900, the United States was building the Panama Canal, and a significant number of workers were getting very sick from yellow fever. So they sent Dr. Walter Reed to go investigate, and he proved that yellow fever was caused by a bite from an infected mosquito.
Well, that's great and all, Doc, but can you cure me?
I think so. That's what I'm supposed to do. Let me check. Well, Braulio, actually, there's not much I can do. Just stay in bed, get a lot of rest, drink a lot of water, and don't do anything crazy. Stay positive. There's like a 3% chance of you dying. Or 30. There are all these symptoms like bleeding from the mouth and the eyes and liver damage, and sometimes when you vomit there'll be blood.
Oh no, I don't want to die.
Probably I didn't mean to scare you. I'm Dr. Feelgood. And I don't mean to be rude, but all of this could have been avoided if you just got your vaccine.
Vaccine? I don't have time for that.
Well, on the bright side, if you survive, there'll be lifelong immunity. But you could have had that if you just got the vaccine.
Okay, so there are a lot of possible symptoms of yellow fever. So we're going to be playing a card game that involves you figuring out what the symptoms are. So, have any of you guys played Slapjack before? Do you guys like Slapjack?
Yeah.
So how many of you guys don't know how to play? Okay. So I'm going to give you guys some simple instructions, but you can ask your teacher for help if you need any more help. So they're going to be cards, and they're going to be evenly separated between your groups. And without looking, the players take the cards in their hands, and they form them up into a neat pile face down. Starting with the player to the left of the dealer, each player quickly places the top card from a stack onto the middle of the table. So you're going to take your stack and you're going to place your card in the middle of the table. And so you guys are going to take turns placing cards in the middle of the table. And if you see a card that has a yellow fever symptom on it, you're going to slap the deck. You're going to slap all the cards on the table. And whoever slaps the card first wins the entire pile. And whoever has no more cards left can slap their way back into the game. But whoever has the most cards in the end wins. So, do you guys have cards? No? They don't have cards. No.
You don't have cards, so
She just pushed the next button.
okay. You
Push.
have to go to another.
They don't have any yellow fever symptom cards here.
They don't?
No.
Okay, just 1 second.
So we'll have to step through them.
We're gonna have to
We'll
what?
have to step through them and they'll have to guess which is and which it isn't.
Okay. So, I'm gonna go through, and we're not gonna play Slapjack anymore, I'm sorry guys. How about we do this? Every time, I'm gonna press a whole bunch of slides, and some of them are gonna have symptoms of yellow fever, some of them aren't. And everyone can stand up right now. Nope.
You are currently the only participant.
Okay, we're back. We got it blocked there.
Oh, okay, okay. Can everyone stand up? Okay, awesome. Yeah. So I'm gonna go through a PowerPoint, and some of them are gonna have symptoms of yellow fever on the slides, and some of them aren't. And if you see a slide that you think has a symptom of yellow fever on it, jump and go like this, okay? Okay, you ready? Yeah, like that. Perfect. Okay. Let's go. A fever. Who do you think you get a fever? Yep. You get a fever when you get yellow fever. Okay, next one. A headache. Who thinks you get a headache? Yep, you do get a headache when you get yellow fever. How about muscle aches in your back and your knees? Yep. How about sensitivity to light? Yep, you do get sensitivity to light. What about some vomiting and nausea? Yep. Okay, ready for the next one? Loss of an appetite. What about dizziness? Do you get quite dizzy when you get yellow fever? What about a red face or tongue? Yep, you get
That's the
some.
last one.
You get some skin discoloration. What about an earache? No, you don't get an earache with yellow fever. How about a stomach ache? Many people don't really get stomach aches with yellow fever, but how about blurred vision? That isn't a very common symptom of yellow fever. What about a green thumb? That's a silly one. That's not a very common symptom of yellow fever. How about a runny nose? Many times you don't really get a runny nose with yellow fever. Or smelly feet. Nope, no smelly feet. What about muscle cramps? Not very often do you get muscle cramps or sneezing. No, not very much sneezing. What about coughing? Coughing usually isn't a symptom of yellow fever. Or loss of hearing. No loss of hearing. What about blindness? No, no blindness. What about an itchy tongue? How many of you guys have itchy tongues right now? No, that's good, okay. What about a toothache? No, no toothaches. Hair loss? No. Swollen toes. How many of you guys have swollen toes right now? Swollen toes really aren't a symptom of yellow fever. A sore throat. No, sore throat really isn't usually a symptom. What about chills? I guess sometimes you can get chills, but it usually isn't associated with yellow fever. Okay. Do they have a Kahoot in there?
Yeah, you can do the Kahoot.
Do you guys have Kahoot in there?
They should have the cards.
The Kahoot cards? No Kahoot cards? I don't think so.
You can bring it up and then tell them the answer choices. Just sort of lead them through it. How many questions do you have?
There are Kahoot?
Yeah.
His escape? I think Braulio had the Kahoot.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
So you don't.
No.
Okay. Then it's 12. You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't even have the Kahoot.
No.
Yeah, so you can just end.
Okay. So you guys have been a really, really good group. Oh wait, what? Can you do Kahoot through the Chromebooks? My partner had the Kahoot. He isn't here right now, so I don't really have a Kahoot to show you guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So just thank them.
Okay, thank you guys so much. You guys have been such a good group. I've had a lot of fun with you guys today. I hope you guys have learned some about yellow fever. And thank you. Bye. Bye.